Welcome, dear viewers, to Dr. BMS channel. In this second part of the series on addiction as a family disease, I would like to talk specifically to parents. A firm hand, a proper code of conduct, and a good level of discipline within the family from the very beginning when a child is born will prevent most of the addictions that would otherwise be developed. And in the unfortunate case that your child develops an addiction to drugs or some antisocial behavior in later life, it will be much easier to rehabilitate, to treat this child, than if you did not have a proper code of conduct at home, a good level of discipline, and a firm hand in bringing up your children. I would like to state that to me as Dr. BMS, both as a parent, because I'm a parent of 5 children, grown up now, as a parent and as a therapist, I have seen that the age-old advice we find in the Bible, for example, that spare the rod and spoil the child, is true today as it was at that time it was being written. And it's for this reason I'm saying a firm hand, a good conduct code in the family, and a good level of discipline will ensure to a large extent that your children do not develop many of the antisocial behavior we see today, like abusing and getting addicted to drugs of recreation. When I say a firm hand, I want to clarify that I am not advocating for parents to become very tough with their children, to serve corporal punishment, to be very harsh. That is not what I am saying. I am saying that you need to set the rules clearly and always insist that they be followed from the time a child is very young and throughout their life. If you do that at the family level, you're going to preempt a number of these antisocial behaviors, addiction included. We have observed that a number of the young men and women who come into rehabilitation have a problem of discipline. And this problem, most of the time, it has its roots within the family. So, for example, we get young people who are brought in for rehabilitation, and straight away from the communication they are having with their parents, you realize that this child, this young man or woman does not have an appreciable or an adequate level of respect for their parents, and by extension then for authorities, and by extension again for rules and regulations. And this, as we go deeper in therapy and we are digging in the family history and the family dynamics or relationships within the family, we find that this is the root cause of this child going astray. They, for example, are children who have, to a large extent, had their way in the family. They got too pampered. They literally dictated what they wanted done for them and what they did not want done for them. And so they are children who, in a way, they call the shots, and their parents are always there to satisfy their desires. Most of them are not even needs, but just wants. And so these children then grow up entitled. These children grow up feeling like they are adult already. And when they start going out into the world and interacting with their peers, they want to show that, yes, they are somebody. One of the ways is to start having excessive fun. And because they have their way all the time, their parents are there to provide the financial needs and to give explanations why this child, for example, has not done this, has missed on school homework. In the process, the child gets lost, because remember, children are children, their minds are still young and developing, so they cannot make those rational decisions. And that's why we as parents are there to play that role of guiding our children until they are grown up to be able to make decisions as adults. So if you abdicate this responsibility and let your child be the one setting the pace, the tempo, dictating what happens in the home or to them, and you agree, then you are going astray. And sometimes some parents think this is loving, but as it said, too much of anything is poisonous. So if your loving is excessive, your loving is a loving of indulging, then you may be tipping your child to excesses which they will not control, because they will get into addiction. We have also observed that if a child comes into rehabilitation, a young man in college, university is brought into rehabilitation, when parents are firm and decisive, when they spell out exactly what direction they would like this treatment to go, they say, for example, to their children, I want you to quit this habit. It is leading you astray, it's making you fall back in your career development, in your growth. And I'm not going to take anything else but from a complete change. If parents are firm and they spell out exactly what they want, the outcome of the treatment is always better than when you have parents who are getting swayed by this person who's in treatment, because this child, this person who's in treatment still feels like they can take a lead. They still feels like they can decide on their own. And usually this is a behavior that has been going on even before the child came to rehabilitation. So my message today is, parents, let us stand up and be counted. We brought forth these children in this world. We have a responsibility given to us from God to lead. Do not let children lead you. Do not be this parent who overindulges children thinking you are loving them, when in fact that indulgence is giving them mixed signals which they are not able to interpret well, and they get lost along the way. See you in the next video about addiction being a family disease. As always, subscribe to Dr. BMS channel and like our videos so that this good discussion about our family life and our health continues.